Hello once again. Welcome to our first mini lecture. This is your teacher. I am Ma'am Nea, and welcome to the mini lectures for Research 2. Expect that you will be receiving mini lectures every week to guide you in answering and understanding the modules that I've sent you each week. If you have more questions, you can just message me to further explain to you what are the things that you don't understand during the mini lectures. So the mini lectures will only be 10 to 15 minutes to explain to you the details and to give you a walkthrough of how things are going to be for the week or the expected outcomes or outputs that I need you to be sending to me for the week. Okay, so let us now begin our mini lecture for this week. So to do that, I'll be sharing to you first my screen so you can see what I have prepared for the week. All right, so this mini lecture is for Practical Research 2, Module 1, Quarter 1, Module 1, entitled Nature and of Inquiry and Research. You may now get your modules and check if I've sent to you the correct module for the week. Now that you have checked that you have the correct module for the week, let us now start our mini lecture. Are you ready? Very good. So turn your module on page 1, what I need to know, and in here you will see that the module is divided into 3 lessons, namely Lesson 1, Characteristics, Strengths and Weaknesses, and Kinds of Quantitative Research. Lesson 2, Importance of Quantitative Research across fields, and Lesson 3, Kinds of Variables and Uses. At the end of the module, you're expected to describe characteristics, strengths and weaknesses, and kinds of quantitative research, illustrate the importance of quantitative research across fields, and 3, differentiate the kinds of variables and their uses. All right, now that you know already what are expected of you for this module, you can now start answering what I know. There are 15 items for that, and there's an allotted space for your activity sheet, which I have sent to you, which I will be also presenting to you later on to give you or guide you where to put your answers for this particular part. For this lesson, you are expected to 1. Define what quantitative research is. 2. Compare and contrast qualitative and quantitative research based on criteria and standards. And 3. Identify the characteristics, strengths, and weaknesses of quantitative research. So you'll also encounter in here in what's in an activity which you will just check the statement if you think if you think that the statement is qualitative research. All right, now that you're done doing it, let us go to what is it. So in what is it, there's a discussion about quantitative research, and it says that quantitative research makes you focus your mind on specific things using statistics that involve collection and study of numerical data. That's according to Baraceros 2017. According to Williams 2011, the research methodology is the holistic step the researcher employs in embarking research work. It deals with quantifying and analyzing variables to get results and involves the utilization and analysis of numerical data using specific statistical techniques to answer questions like who, how much, what, where, when, how many, and how. So if you will read the following discussions, you will also understand that quantitative research is described as objective research in contrast to qualitative research, which is subjective. Moving on, you will also see here the differences of the two, the qualitative and quantitative research. You will just see that there's a typographical error in your module. So the first one in here, the first column tells you about the criteria, which is the purpose, group studied, variables, type of data collected, form of data collected, type of data analysis, objectivity and subjectivity, role of the researcher, results, scientific method, view of human behavior, and so on. There's so many other criteria that you have to understand about it. The second column, on the other hand, talks about qualitative research. This one is correct. The second column is qualitative research, whereas the third column is quantitative research. Please take note of that. There is a typographical error in the column in the third column of page 6 of your module. This should be quantitative research, and in here it discusses about the characteristic and the purpose of quantitative research. So in here, quantitative research tests hypothesis, look at cause and effect, and make prediction, and so on. So just please read the contents of this part. What is it? And it will give you more understanding about what quantitative and qualitative research are. And for page 7, you will see here the characteristics of quantitative research. Objective. It is clearly defined. It has clearly defined research questions. It is structured research. It has structured research instruments. It uses numerical data. In page 7 of your module, you will also see the characteristics of quantitative research. And to give you an overview of it, the characteristics of quantitative research are the following. It is objective. It has clearly defined research questions. It uses structured research instruments. It uses numerical data. It uses large sample sizes, and it can be reduplicated, or it has the characteristics of replication, and it can be used for future outcomes. For the strengths and weaknesses of quantitative research, you will see here the advantages and, of course, the advantages. When we talk about advantages, it talks about the strengths of the quantitative research, whereas when we talk about disadvantages, it talks about the weaknesses. All right, so I hope that is clearly understood. Now let's go to activity what's more, understanding quantitative research. In here, you'll just check the ideas that would describe the characteristic of quantitative research. You will be able to answer that if you have read the the first part of the discussion, which is in which is in page 7. I'm sorry. The characteristics of quantitative research is in page 7. You'll be able to answer activity 1 by simply reading that. Okay. Now, activity 2, concept and elaboration. You'll have to fill in the blanks of the correct answer, which can be found in the box below. All right, so you'll also see that in the activity sheet that I have sent to you. For activity 3, you'll have to write strength or weakness depending on the statement that you will encounter on activity 3. Moving on to lesson 2, importance of quantitative research across different fields. In here, you will have to identify the importance of quantitative research across fields or areas of interest, determine the different research areas, and decide on suitable quantitative research in different areas of interest. In your case, you will have to decide what kind of research you'll be delving in depending on the course that you have. If you are GAS, then you have to have a variety of choices to choose from for as your topic. If you belong to the ABM group, of course, your topic should be something about ABM, or it should be aligned in your course ABM. If you're HUMS, then it should also be aligned to HUMS topics, and TVL will also be having the same instruction. Okay, for what's in, you'll just have to check whether it's yes or no. If the statement describes the characteristics of quantitative research. It's just like a recap of lesson 1. Okay, for what's new, you'll just have to read what's in that part. So also in what's it. In here, you will encounter the different uses of research in the different areas of interest in communication, education, psychology, behavioral sciences, and many other areas of disciplines. Okay, so you'll just have to read those parts. And then for what's more, you'll just be writing on the topic, whether it is for quantitative research for education, anthropology, communication, and so on. All right. So you'll just have to choose from the options given to you in that part. For activity 2, concept transformation, you should also already be thinking about the topic that you should be, giving stress or focusing on your own research. All right, let's go to lesson 3, kinds of variables and their uses. For this part, you will be expected to define what variables are, judge if the statement about the types of variables and their uses is true or not, and 3, distinguish independent variable from the dependent variable. This is very important because you'll also be describing which is dependent and independent variable in your own research topic. Okay? So for what's in, you'll just have to make a sentence outline to identify the importance of quantitative research in the different fields of study in the previous lesson. Okay, so you'll just have to write that one sentence to give the or to tell us or to tell me the importance of research in the different areas of discipline. For what's new, you'll just have to read the types of variables in research, as well as in what's in, or what is it, sorry. So in here, you'll be encountering the different variable types. We have the dependent variable, the independent variable, the controlled variables, intervening or meddling variables. I like that very much. And of course, we also have the moderator variable, the extraneous variable, and of course, that would be 6 variable types that you'll be encountering in page 17 of your module. So please try to understand the differences among all those 6 variables. For what's more, in page 18, you will have to write what is the dependent or independent variable in each research problem presented. So depending on your understanding on the definition of independent and dependent variable in page 17, you'll be able to answer these questions. So let's now go to activity 2. You'll just have to write true if the statement is correct and false if it is not. So you will base your answer on the discussion given to you on page 17. So for what I've learned, you'll just have to read this and try to see if these are also the things that you've learned all throughout the module. Okay, there's also an instruction here in what I can do. In this part, you'll have to write down 3 topics aligned with your strand. So remember, the topics that you'll have to write in there are only the topics that are aligned in your strand. If not, then you'll have to disregard it and think of other topics that you can do for in your strand or within your strand. After that, after you're done answering what I can do, in page 21, you'll have to move on to assessment in page 22 to 24. So those are 15 items, and you will be given or there's an allotted space for that for you to answer in your answer sheet. Okay, so that would be all for the mini lecture or walkthrough for module 1 of your subject with me, Research 2. So now let us go to your answer sheets. Let me share to you your answer sheet so you will have a guide on how to answer or how to put your answers or your outputs in your answer sheets. All right, so this is your answer sheet. Please check the answer sheet that I've sent to you if it is the right answer sheet that you should be having for Practical Research 2, Module 1, Lesson 1 and 3 for Quarter 1, Week 1. Okay, you have the correct answer sheet. So now, please understand that you'll have to write your name in here, your grade and section, and the date. So there's also an instruction in here or directions on how to answer your answer sheets. Please read them, all right? So for what I know, this is page 1 to 3. Here is the allotted area for answering 1 to 15. For lesson 1, kinds of quantitative research, characteristics, strengths, and weaknesses, here is the part where you will answer the needed activities for that lesson until lesson 2 and lesson 3. Or activity 2 and activity 3. All right. For lesson 3, importance of quantitative research across different fields. We'll also have your what's in page 11. Just write your answer in here, as well as for activity 1 in what's more. For lesson 3, kinds of variables and their uses, you'll have to write in here the independent variable and the dependent variable. Okay, so you just have to write down what you think are the variables needed, and as well as for activity 2. For what I can do, page 20 to 21, write your answer to this in a separate sheet of bond paper and attach it to this answer sheet upon submission. When you do that, you'll get 20 points at most when you're able to answer the activity for what I can do. So I am looking forward to seeing that and checking that. And for assessment, you have 15 items. Please just write the letter of your answer in the space provided. For the reflection, it is important for you to answer this part because I'm also checking and giving grades on this. So the answer on the blanks provided would have to be, will only be found in what I have learned. So this comprises the things that you have learned all throughout the 3 lessons that have been discussed. That have been discussed in your module for this week. So you'll have to just answer them, and points will be given for each blank that is answered. All right. So when you're done with that, please write your name and signature on this part and your parent or guardian's signature on this part. This would tell me that you have complied and completed your answer sheet or activity sheet for the week, and your parents were able to see them and check them for me. Okay, so that would be all for your answer sheets, and you'll have to send that back to me next week. For the security of your answer sheets, I would like you to take screenshots or or scan your answer sheets, take a picture of them for you to have an evidence that you have truly passed to me your answer sheets for the week. All right, I will reiterate, uulitin ko kung anong sinabi ko. Picturean or i-scan ang inyong answer sheets at lahat ng ipinasa nyo sa akin for the week, so you have an evidence that you have truly submitted to me for that week. Para maiwasan natin yung mga lost answer sheets or modules sa hinaharap, let us have a backup plan. All right, that would be good if we have backup plan. So that would be it for my mini lecture for this week for you. Hopefully, I was able to help you out in answering your module. And should there be any queries, please just chat me in our chat box, and I would be glad to answer them one by one once I have the chance to do it. All right, so basically by having this mini lecture, all your questions will have been answered already, and there will be no problems in answering your modules for this week. So that would be all for me. Again, my name is Ma'am Nea. Thank you so much for listening, and good luck in answering your modules for this week. Goodbye.